UFC Fight Night Corey Sandhagen versus Davis and Figueredo was tonight. I'm gonna go through the full card, give you my thoughts on each fight, starting with Juliana Miller beating Petrovic by unanimous decision. Not really much to say here. Juliana grappled her in the first and third. Petrovic was able to stay on the feet in the second, landed some good strikes, but yeah, there really wasn't much action. The second round was really brutal. Like, it was one good strike every 20 seconds or 30 seconds. But it's her first win in the UFC. Again, I think that any high level fighter would beat her. Like, that's what I work for. Any fighter who isn't unranked, I want to see you compete and, you know, make me believe that you can get a number shit next to your name. But it's the first one in the UFC, like I said. We'll see if she improves. We move on to Thomas Peterson winning by unanimous decision. I again not really an impressive fight. Peterson went for an arm triangle in round one, but gave up on it and stayed in top mount. Landed a few strikes here and there. Peterson then got another way takedown in the second. Landed some really good elbows late, but again, he really wasn't working with it at all. He really wasn't throwing shots, advancing position. Round three started with big hooks from both fighters. Mays hit him with a flying knee though, and Peterson was able to uh, turn that into a takedown. Really impressive way. And he ended the fight on top of Mays' back, raining shots. He moves to 10-3, but I really wasn't impressed by his performance. I think any legitimate heavyweight, again, big belly brawlers. I don't think they will go far in the new UFC heavyweight division. But I could be wrong. It was a fight that happened. We move on to Quang Lee. Quang Lee impressed the shit out of me tonight. Lee looked really good in the first. He was moving in and out really good, landing a lot of clean strikes, using the jab, using the leg to mixing it up with the body kick. And he got a takedown and held Bolanos down for a good bit of round one. Round two, it started off with a really good exchange between both fighters. Lee ended up in Talma though. Got the back, got his arm under Bolanos' neck, and he finished it. It was his first win in the UFC. Like I said, man, the road to the UFC fighters and all these Japanese fighters who have came in, the UFC is a different level. It really is. It's it's the best of the best, right? But it's a good one. If you can have more performances like this, maybe we have a legitimate contender. We move on to Joanne Robertson, a fight where I picked against her and I wanted her to win. So I got my wish. Robertson started round one oh, excuse me. Round one started aggressive. Robertson started aggressive, landed some hooks, and she kept using the kick out the middle. She was really finding success with that. She ended up getting a takedown, went for an armbar, but unable to get it. She also landed some good body shots from the side position. Rodriguez then nearly got a guillotine from one of Robertson's takedowns in the second, but she got out of it and ran shots from Mount, got the TKO, and ties Amanda Nunes for most finishers in UFC women's history. A very impressive achievement to do, and I had no idea she was close to that, but I believe this is now her fourth or fifth win in a row. She's now in the top 10, and I'm Canadian. I like single. I'm Canadian for now. we'll see how much longer I am for with everything going on. But I like seeing another Canadian up there. Um, yeah, I've been really impressed by her as a lightweight. I thought this was gonna be a really tough fight for her, but she proved me wrong. We move on to Azamat Piccolo, winning by first round TKO. He ran through Ryan Water, dropped him with a hook, then he dropped him again once he got up. He pretty much it was like watching a video game, like watching a father spar his 8-year-old son. It wasn't even competitive, and I do like Ryan Water. I think Ryan Water is really good. But he dropped him again, finished it with ground and strikes, moved to 20-3, and we have another dogger standing fighter that looks like a complete menace. You cannot avoid him. But I think Volkov is fucking crazy, dude. I want to see how far he can go. If Volkov gets to be a top ranked contender, I think we're gonna have a lot of good fights from him. We move on to Yana Santos beating Misha Tate by unanimous decision. Now I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm here. Throw a fucking jab. Oh my god, dude! It was like watching Misha Tate do a shitty impersonation of DDP. She she jumped right into this fight, chasing Santos down, landed a lot of good combinations, but everything was a swinging hook or an uppercut. Santos then picked up on it, and then she went as the round went and just picked her apart from range. Landed the way when she needed to. Used the jab, and yeah, Tate refused to throw the jab. Every shot was a hook and a no brain. I'm not I'm not exaggerating. Round three, Tate finally started using a jab. And what did you notice? The moment she did, she landed a takedown. And she had Yana Santos in a lot of danger. She got to the back, looked for a choke, but she was unable to get it. The DDP approach didn't work for me, so Tate, but again, the jab, jab, jab. Fucking literally 15 jabs. I think she wins the fight. In any round. Goes the jab, get the takedown, get the back, go for an armbar, whatever you do. But I mean, hey, Yano Santos did what she needed to win. She did work really good in this fight, and hey, she beat a former champion, a legend. Moving on to Mason Jones defeating Jeremy Stevens. Mason Jones, the comeback of Mason Jones after what he did in Cage Warriors, going on that insane run he did, he looked really sharp in the first round. He found his range really quickly with the jab and leg kicks, and once he did, he was landing very efficiently. His nose did start to bleed from Stevens' jab, but he found a takedown late in the first, and then it ended up on um Stevens' back. Round two started with a scrap. Um, Stevens ended up getting a cut, I think, in his hair. I love how that got deleted. Both fighters ended up losing their mouthpieces. Um, but yeah, Mason Jones really shocked me. Uh, Stevens Stevens got blood all over his forehead. No clue. Thanks to Sportsnet where it came from. I'm not allowed to watch. The the conversations in the corner on this stool. Jones then got a takedown in the third. Um, went for an arm. Wasn't able to get it. Even Bisping was calling for some action at the end of the fight. Really, nothing happened for like uh, 3-10 to the end of the third. It's, yeah. But we move on to Center City, winning by unanimous decision. Round one was a good kickboxing match, basically. Mainland City looked good. He was landing very efficiently, and all of his shots were clean in the first. Round two, City landed some takedowns to mix it up, continued winning the exchanges on the feet. Round three, Smotherman finally woke up and he started looking better. He landed some good shots. Two judges gave him the third. I honestly, I, it's difficult. I can see why, but again, I just felt Smotherman through the entire fight won clearly. Um, or no, I thought Sarah Sydney won the fight through it clearly. Um, but yeah, really good fight for Sarah Sydney. Really good win. We move on to Montel Jackson winning by unanimous decision, handing Daniel Marcos his first loss and continuing a very impressive run ever since being knocked out on the Contender Series. Jackson got a takedown early and had a lot of success in the grappling in this fight. Marcos landed his own, but he only landed eight strikes in the entire round. Montel Jackson did way more in the round. Marcos then got Jackson down early in the second, but it went nowhere. It started to push in, land strikes, and threaten to take down. Marcos then got him down in the third and controlled most of the round, but Jackson got up and started landed his own takedown, and nearly got a choke. But overall, I thought that Montel Jackson just looked a step ahead of him the entire fight. Marcos is young though, obviously. It's his first loss, and I think he just ran into a guy who Montel Jackson is a tough fight for anyone, I believe. I think that Montel Jackson, like I remember Guru made a video about Montel Jackson years ago and how scary this guy is. He's a problem, man. He is a serious problem. We move on to Daniel Rodriguez defeating uh, Santiago Ponzinibbio by a third round TKO. This was an interesting fight, we'll say. It was a slow start to the first, mainly jabs and leg kicks. I felt Santiago won round one and landed the better shots. Santiago slipped as D-Rod landed some bombs on him. A lot of hooks, a lot of uppercuts, front and tense end to the round. Um, Round two was similar to round one. D-Rod had a lot of success blitzing. We know that D-Rod is a brawler, and Santiago kept shooting, but only got D-Rod down at the end of the second round. And then Daniel Rodriguez landed a really clean hook combination that dropped Santiago, and he finished it on the ground. Apparently he wrapped his walkout that he was walking out to, and he called out Jake Matthews, which I think is a really fun fight. Matthews is coming out from a really good win in Australia at UFC 312. Both of these guys are coming off good wins, and I think it will be a banger. But we move on to the co-main event of Renier de Ritter TKOing Bo Nickel. And boy, oh boy, if you were watching my stream, man, I went berserk. Bo Nickel opened up this fight with, guess what? An overhand. Followed by the two of them battling in the clinch. But Renier de Ritter had, I feel like Renier de Ritter had more confidence. I feel like he knew what to expect with Bo Nickel, and the grappling set just wasn't there for Bo. Bo Nickel got RDR down halfway. RDR then had a cool transition out of a choke, and he ended up on top of Bo Nickel. Landed some really good shots at the end. Round two was just a clinch fest. RDR landed a lot of great shots from the clinch as well. Bo went for a takedown, but RDR gets back up, lands a beautiful combination, and he ends it with a knee. I lost my fucking mind when he got this one, and I'm still seeing spelling mistakes. I have literally recorded this thing like 5 different times because I've misspelled words. I don't care anymore. He calls out John Strickland like this was the win that Renier de Ritter needed. This was the win that clearly makes him a contender. And yeah, I would love to see him fight Sean Strickland. I think that Sean Strickland and him, everybody shits on Sean Strickland's fighting style. I think it's unique. I think it works. And I think that Renier de Ritter wouldn't give him one hell of a fight. I feel like that would be a fight that would go 5 rounds, and you know, I can honestly see either one of them winning it. Um, but yeah, really good win. Like I said, Renier de Ritter needed this. We know that any guy who comes in from any organization, whether you were from Bellator, whether you were from one CFL, fucking GFL, anything. We automatically think that you are a level below a UFC fighter. Because most of the time when we see, ex Bellator champion, ex this champion, ex that champion, all of these guys end up running into, Joe Schmo in the welterweight division, and they get absolutely demolished or they get outworked. Renier de Ritter had that very close, a very close fight with Joe Mercer up until he got the submission, and then he TKO's Bo Nickel. Like I picked Renier de Ritter to win this just because I thought he has more experience. But man, that knee was horrific, and then he followed it up with hooks and jabs, finished the fight. Renier de Ritter made his statement. Renier de Ritter said, "You know what? I, I'm fucking here. I'm fucking here. You think this, American wrestler? Perfect. I get to talk about this. Amer- you know how many times we hear Chael Sonnen, Daniel Cormier, talk about Division One wrestler, American wrestler, and then they went after MMA Guerrero. DC had no idea of what he was saying, and he proved MMA Guerrero's point. American wrestling is shit now. American wrestling doesn't mean a fucking thing. You got Dagestan now. Are you really gonna tell me that there is an American wrestler that can compete with a Dagestani on the ground? Select few. But when they did that segment about Guru, Daniel Cormier went on to list off Ilya Tuporia, Marab Dvalishvili, all of these guys that aren't American. And Renier de Ritter, he's Dutch. And honestly, I thought he had the better moments on the ground. He had the better transition. And he's a clearly the better striker. Now, I am shitting on Bo Nickel a lot. And I don't hate Bo Nickel. I think he's cocky. I still think he has a lot to learn. He's very young when it comes to mixed martial arts. He just started, but again, man, there's levels to this. As Corey Anderson said. Um, but yeah, man. Renier de Ritter, former two Division One champion, is now here. He is now a top middleweight. And now we'll see how he does against Hamza, against DDP, against Robert Whitaker, hopefully, Sean Strickland. We're going to have a lot of fun fights in middleweight. And honestly, that division is slowly turning in to arguably the best division in the UFC without anybody realizing it. But let's move on to the main event. Corey Sandhagen winning by round 2 TKO due to Davis and Figueredo being injured. I think he said it was his ankle. His ankle got fucked. Um, for round 1, Corey was more active on the feet. He was moving in and out, landing the jab. Um, he uh he landed a lot of good combinations. Figueredo was trying to go for takedowns, but Corey was able to uh, reverse one and ended up on top. He landed 50 strikes from the ground in round 1, and then Figure got another takedown, which Corey Sandhagen reversed again, and he stood back up, only to land his own takedown. And then Figgy's knee got injured near the end of round 2. They had to stop the fight. It sucks that this fight didn't go the distance and ended in injury. But this is a really good performance for Corey Sandhagen. You know, rebounding out off of the Umar loss. He really needed it. Now, please, for the love of God, give us if Sean Strickland loses, give us Corey versus Sean. I don't know if Corey is the number one contender. I feel like we'll have that conversation after Marab versus Sean too, when Marab probably will win that fight. You know, again, he basically won the fight by a mile the first time. Now you're gonna have Sean coming in off wait 1 year layoff after Marab just had the best performance of his career. I don't know, man. We'll have to see. I just realized um, his legs are floating. Um, again, I made this fight slide during the fight, so any mistakes or whatever, I don't care. I've recorded this video 5 different times. But all in all, this card, it was a bit lackluster, but we had a lot of good performances. Bantamweight gets a little bit more interesting. It's just, can Corey do it in the when it matters? Can he win the title? I don't see Corey. I don't see Corey beating Marab. I don't see anybody beating Marab at bantamweight. Maybe Pantoja, but I think Marab will beat Pantoja. But we'll see. Um, I think that next week it's UFC 315, right? I don't know. UFC 315. Um, yeah, UFC 315 next week. Bilal versus Stadium. It should be a fun fight card. Shevchenko, Farad, Jose Aldo Zahabi, Grasso Silva, Benoit Saint Joao Alvarez. Joao Alvarez is a beast, man. Mike Malott versus Charles Radke. That should be a good one. Andrade versus Jasmine Javidicus. Javidicus is really the favorite in that fight. Then we got Modestus Bukakis versus Aaron Kotawaba and Navarro Sterling versus Ivan Erswin. It should be a fun card, but let me know in the comments down below. What did you think about this card? What were the moments that stood out to you? Who impressed you? Who did you think had a lackluster performance? I want to hear it all. Thanks for watching. Later.